Only for you, only for you, Oh, well, hey, bitch. What's up? It's Jamie. That's me here. Listen, we got to talk about Kandi. Speak on it, okay? I just finished watching it. You know, at the very end, she got her song, Only for You. Girl, that seemed like it's going to be a cute little bob. That's going to be in my head for a little bit, okay? So, I'm over here just singing and doing my little thing. But anyway, girl, we have to talk about Kandi. Speak on it. So let's go ahead, hop right on into it. They did do a lot of conversation about SWV. It's just them talking in circles about that situation. I mean, Kandi did let us know Lily was not Lily, but Coco was on some other shit. Remember how I said Coco came into the scene with Kandi when it was time to look at the set list and she already had an attitude, and I was like, BIT, it seemed like you didn't even want to be there. Well, I believe she came to the studio right after hearing the whole "we're irrelevant" type of comment coming from Taj, which is not necessarily what Tamika had said. Okay, so she was already kind of in her feelings about some stuff. Okay, that's why. All right, she had that little attitude when she came into the building. Okay, but anywho, let's get into Tiny. Because Tiny mentions how proud of Tamika she was for her to release all of those receipts, okay? She was proud of her, pretty much speaking up for herself and dropping the receipts. And I believe Tiny said she been knew about the receipts Tamika had for a pretty long time, okay? She's known about it, but for her to finally drop it, she was proud of her for that. She was also proud of the fact that when her mom sat down to do the whole, conversation or whatever, the video for Tamika, she was glad that they edited it tastefully, okay? Because her mama definitely can ramble on. Her mama probably would have spilled more tea than what we may have needed, okay? So she was glad that they kind of like fixed some stuff or whatever, okay? So that was good. She says that her mom is not a liar. She also says that her mama always keeps it real, so it ain't no need for her to sit up there and lie about nothing. And my thing is this, girl, you ain't got to tell us that. We know Miss Diane ain't no liar. Okay, girl, the stuff that she remember and remembering the person that she actually spoke to, girl, we know Miss Diane ain't lie. She ain't had no reason to lie on folks. We see each other, Miss Diane. Hey, girl. So Tiny says that they knew Tamika had the receipts for a while, but she never wanted to take anything further than what it was. Okay, at that time, which was like, hey, this happened to me. It is what it is. I'm gonna let it go and I'm gonna move on. Okay. Well, she said, of course, Xscape did their interviews and stuff, but Tasha went on her press run doing her interviews, and she was pretty much slick calling her sister a liar, right? Saying none of that ever happened. And then was like she wanted to see the receipts. You want me to bring out the receipts? Yeah, bring them out. Let me see them, okay? Well, she wasn't fake pumping like Mariah over there on Married to Medicine, girl, okay? Tamika said, all right, you want the receipts? I'm going to bring the receipts. And she dropped the bomb. And it is what it is. So you kept pretty much taunting this lady doing these different interviews and stuff. Whole time when we were seeing interviews with Xscape, we were seeing, I don't know about y'all, but the interviews I saw Tamika being honest about the situation and being emotional because now it's out there, right? She's going to have to address it. People going to ask her about it. And she's admitting to it and everything. But she's like, listen, I still want my sister. I still reached out to her. I've been calling her and everything. That's what she's been doing, trying to be in better graces with her sister. Meanwhile, you got Tasha over here not answering no calls, but it ain't like she could really answer no calls from Tamika anyway because she changed her number on her, right? So, I mean, girl, that's just where we was at with that. Like, the number was changed and, like, the girl could reach out even if you wanted to see the receipts. Now, see, had you not changed your number on her, she could have texted you the receipts in privacy. But since you wanted to go the public route as well, she said, well, then, since we're going to let it all out in front of the people, let's let it all out in front of the people. And it's exactly what happened, all right? Now, Tiny does go on to speak on watching Tasha's live. Y'all know Tasha went live last week. We did review both parts of that live, okay? We did review both of those. And Tasha was crying. She was remorseful. She was going around giving apologies to every member of Xscape. Including her sister, talking about how she want her sister back. I'm talking about snot dripping down to her lip and into her mouth. Girl, I was like, okay, Tasha, not cry. I know you upset and you crying. But girl, can you dab and get that and dab and get this? Like, dab and get, ma'am. Okay, get that together. But, she was crying. You over here trying to convince us, girl, you need to be on the phone trying to talk to your sister or something. And cause, like, you couldn't do all of that crying video, send it to your mama and have your mama send it over there to your sister. Girl, but you brought it to us, okay? But y'all don't want us in it, but you brought it to us, and we definitely gonna talk about it, but let's keep going, okay? So when she did this live and she was crying, Tiny says that she believes what she said about her was real, okay? Tiny like, girl, whatever she said about me, how much she loved my daughter, girl, everybody loves Aries, period, okay? Everybody loves Aries, all right? So we know that, okay? She said that her and Tiny had a good relationship. She was just like, listen, whatever she said about me, facts, all right? But all that other stuff was bullshit, according to Miss Tiny. She says, my problem with Tasha is how she lacks accountability. And I'm like, girl, that is America's problem with Tasha and how she lacks accountability. And if y'all did not see that before, we definitely saw it on the most recent episode, because as soon as Kandi and Tamika told her that we have an issue with the promoters and your husband, and we also have receipts, as soon as Miss Girl got ready to pull out them receipts, Tasha immediately debunked it. She didn't even say, let me see the receipts you got. What you got over there? Let me see what that is. Okay, since y'all, hold on, don't say anything else. I want to see what she's talking about. Give me the receipts. Instead of you doing that, trying to see what's going on, you immediately debunked it and said, ain't nobody, kick back Tamika. See, that's the shit right there. Okay, and let me go and say this while it's on my mind, because I don't want to forget. Because I wrote this towards the end. But Tasha, let me tell you where you fucked up at when you did this live, okay? You fucked up, I feel, in multiple ways when you said that you, one, have an open relationship. We know about that. That's a fuck up right there. But I feel like the F up that supersedes that one is when you said, I know everything. I know everything. Y'all think I don't know? I know everything. So that's where you effed up for me, because if you know everything that your husband does, that means that you're privy to all of his shady behavior. And you're content with it. And you like to sit in it. And it's giving one of those people that like to do bullshit and then hide their hands at the same time. That's what it's giving. And that's not a great look for you. You know? So I know you was like, you ain't had nobody in that room with you. And you was there by yourself. Girl, you needed to have somebody in that room with you. To be like, cut that. Don't say that. Cut. Shut up. Okay, that's what you needed, somebody to get you to be quiet, because you just pretty much, girl, told on yourself in my personal, okay? Now, Kandi thought everything Tasha said in her live was bullshit as well, all right? She says she does understand her having an emotional breakdown. She gets that. She says because you've wanted this solo album for such a long time, and then now that you get it, you got all of this drama that's really not helping your album at all. Like, you wanted it then, and it didn't necessarily work out for you then. Now, it seems like it's working out, but it's really not working out, like for real, okay? So these are the things that Miss Kandi said about Tasha, right? She says that when it comes to her crying all over the place, she said, I feel like she was really crying because it was her career. In so many words, the solo career. So Kandi kind of feels like she didn't really think that she was crying because of the issue with her sister for real, or the fact that Tiny ain't really featuring her either, because typically Tiny is able to see things from both sides, because she don't be wanting no message. It's like, girl, I see where you coming from. I see your point, whatever, like that, right? So because Tiny is like, okay, this time you full of shit right now, girl. Like, I'm gonna have to call you out this time, girl. You are full of shit. Because of that, and because of the drama with the sister, Kandi feels like it's not even really that. It's really the fact that everything is impacting the career that she has wanted for such a long periodical time, okay? So that's what Miss Kandi is saying, all right? She says, when it comes to me, I don't think Tasha gives a rat's ass about me. And I said, and vice versa. I don't think you guys give a rat's ass about each other. I'm just letting you know what I think, okay? And there's that. Now, Kandi says when it came down to an apology, she says, I wasn't expecting one, nor did I need one from her to feel validated or to feel whole or to feel better about myself at all. I didn't need that apology. Right. But she wanted to make sure she gave that apology, because for me, it was given, if this career does not work out, who can I run to? Oh, to share this empty space. You better run to Rocky. Okay, that's who you're going to be able to share empty space with. But anyway, girl, when you trying to run to somebody, you also said you was going to run to your solo career. Girl, that solo career is girl's a tornado over there. So are you still going to run towards that tornado? Because it's giving you want to turn around and you want to run back to that group, but that group is not going to have you. Okay, so it looks like at this point, all you can do is stand, like Donnie McClurkin said. Girl, you don't really need to run over there, because you're going to get swallowed up, and you don't want to go over there because they don't want you. You might as well, after you've done all you can, you just stand and be sure. Okay, so maybe things will work out as they always do in the end. All right. Now, Kandi goes on to say that when it came down to the receipts, because of course the ladies decided that they were going to confront Tasha about the whole promoter situation. Right? They said, first of all, before they got to that, they talked about how things cannot rain forever. Girl, you can't have a tornado forever. Right? This too shall pass. You'll get to better days, but right now, better days is not here. I told you all you can do is stand, okay? And be sure. Hello, Donnie. Okay? Now, they talk about the promoter situation when they confronted Tasha at the end of the episode, okay? Kandi says she been knew about those receipts. She had a conversation with Tamika about it. Tiny did not know about the receipts. She learned about that when they were having a conversation with Tasha. Kandi says that the guy sent screenshots and text messages to Tamika, but not only did he send text messages, he also sent wire transfers. So money from his account was going over to Rocky's accounts. This man had his receipts and he sent everything to Tamika. Girl, Tamika is giving receipt queen because she definitely collects. Y'all didn't see the file folder? Exactly. Yes, Miss Ma'am collects. Now, Jamie in the background asks like, hey, she was like, so we're on the receipts, like, was it, or on the wire transfer, did it say Rockland Studios or Rockland Entertainment or something, right? Because obviously the people are believing that Rocky has been going around saying that, you know, he runs Rockland or he's affiliated, like he's the big person in charge or something. And this is where Kandi says, baby, cut it out. Rockland is a company that is owned by R. Kelly. Okay? People might need to do a little bit of their research. She says, see, that's the problem. He lies so much, okay? He lies so well. This is what Kandi says now, all right? This is what Kandi says about Rocky. I'm going to tell y'all, and I'm going to always say this. From the moment I heard this man talking on Tasha K's video, it was giving scam. I'm not even gonna lie. And that's why I'm like, the way that I view Tasha as a woman, and then I listen to him talk as a man, it baffles me how she even allowed this man to get into her psyche and stay in her psyche for as many years as he has. That's just my personal, but I'm on the outside looking in. Okay? And then she's crying all on social media talking about that man has been by my side when they had nobody. So your mama wasn't there? Because she always seems like she's there more than anybody. But he's been on your side when you ain't had nobody. Yeah, because you're his meal ticket, because you got the coin. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you is his way into the industry. You is his connect. All right? He ain't got R. Kelly right now. Or what the hell he at? Okay, you feel what I'm saying? So, I mean, girl, that's why he needs you. But let's keep going. So Tiny says that she hates when Tasha does not accept any accountability for her actions. And Tiny, I'm so glad that you're starting to be a bit more vocal about this, because a lot of times you just sat back, watched, observed, didn't really say a whole lot, and you would let Kandi, like, you know, be the one kind of like slick getting drugged or whatever the case is. But I feel like because we've been calling you out a little bit more when it came down to the headliner situation, now you're being more vocal and we can appreciate it, you know? And I think because of the relationship you and Tasha have, I feel like Tasha will respect it. She may not always like what you have to say, but she knows that you're not coming from that space of, oh, I can't stand you, so I'm going to always make you the problem. She knows that when you say this, then obviously you must really feel this way about me. Maybe I'm not accepting any accountability. Does that make sense? So to hear you say it versus hearing Kandi say it, somebody that she's constantly going back and forth with, she may take what Kandi says with a grain of salt and assume that Kandi always thinks she's the problem, whatever the case is. But when you say it, it may hit a little different. So I'm glad that you're saying it. I don't know if it's really gonna matter, but it might hit a little different, okay? So she says she doesn't like when Tasha doesn't accept any accountability and acts like she doesn't know what the going on. Because Tiny was sitting over there like I was, like, girl, she's talking, Tasha's like, girl, what is this? What is this? Tiny's like, girl, read the paperwork. Read the messages, like you can find out what all's going on. Like, read it. Like, girl, that's this man's number. We all know his number. Like, girl, that is his number. Stop acting dumb. Okay, so this is what Tiny is saying. Okay, she says she's confused as to why she acts lost when the messages shows Sam and Rocky addressing each other in the messages, where Sam is like, hey, Rocky, X, Y, and Z, and Rocky's like, yo, Sam, X, Y, and Z. So the proof is all there in the pudding. And they said Tasha was like, well, anybody can make this up. You know, anybody, you know, people could just say stuff. They could just make it up. And it's like, Tasha, we want you to stop today in America. Okay, we want you to stop today in America and consider the possibility that this could be happening. And the only way you would act so oblivious to what's happening is if you are contributing to said problem, and you're just in partnership with the bullshit is what it's giving, which is why you have to debunk things. I hate to see it. So Kandi says that she knew this was true because in the messages, Rocky ended up mentioning something about talking to one of Kandi's reps or something, and how the person said that Kandi's down, but she's filming a show right now, etc., etc. So how would Sam know? Or either Sam said it or Rocky said it, one of the two. But either way, Kandi was like, how would that person know that? The only person that would really know that would be Rocky, because they were communicating directly with her rep or whatever the case was. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. She knew that was to be fact because you said some very key information that only a few people would know. So there's that, all right? Kandi also says this is a problem because they had been hearing for years that Rocky was getting a kickback. He was doing this type of stuff, getting paid on top of the payment. All right. And I'm just kind of like, if y'all been hearing it for years, why y'all, like, how were y'all, like, did y'all even try to investigate it when you guys would hear this a long time ago? Why didn't y'all make a move then? Was it just something y'all weren't able to prove? It took people to fall out for y'all to get to this point to find these details out. Why did nothing happen prior to is what I'm wondering. Okay, now the ladies talk about how they split money equally when it comes down to their shows. They split the money 4 ways, and basically he's getting a cut off the top. So what it kind of sounds like to me, and I could be understanding this wrong, if the ladies got paid $100,000 for the show, it seems like to me Rocky would likely get 20,000 of that money, and then they probably would split the 8,000. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe it was like how I'm trying to say. So if they got 100,000, maybe Rocky was supposed to only get 10,000 of those out of that 100,000. If it's 100,000, so then the 90,000 would get split amongst the ladies. But Rocky's probably like, give me 20. And then he'll run back and tell the ladies like, oh, it's going to be 80K or whatever, and they'll split it. That's how I'm understanding it, and I could be saying it wrong. But either way, he was getting a kickback, and it was proven through those receipts and the wire transfer. That'd be the thing for me. People be having hardcore copies of bank forms, and Tasha will still sit up there and be like, how? Who? What? When? Girl, no. Girl, stop. Girl, bye. Like, girl, no ma'am. Okay? Foolish. But let's keep going. Kandi also lets us know that Tasha and that promoter ended up falling out with each other. And what happened was they were supposed to do a show that resulted in Kandi and Tiny getting C19. So when they ended up catching C19, in the text messages from the show, the promoter was like, hey, we gonna give you your money off top or whatever the case is, Rocky, but we need all 4 ladies. Well, 2 of the ladies were not able to perform. So that resulted in whatever deal that they had ended up going wrong because Kandi and Tiny ended up getting sick. So after all of that happened, they noticed Xscape started to have an issue with the promoter, and they never understood why they had an issue with the promoter. Come to find out, it had something to do with Rocky and this kickback or whatever. Rocky didn't get all his money, whatever the case was. Rocky ended up threatening the person, and the person ended up threatening them back and saying all kind of stuff. Now, I remember this because when Tamika came out about it, not Tamika, but Tasha, when she came out about it, she was upset that they were still willing to work with a promoter that threatened her husband and all this other stuff. And I'm just kind of like, when I read what was said, I'm like, what did your husband possibly say? What did he say for that man to say those things back? Because the words that she said the promoter used were words that sounded like a person would say in response to something. So your husband had to have said something for this man to respond in that manner. But what also gets me, Tasha, you upset that these ladies are willing to work with a fucking promoter that threatened your husband, but you were the same woman that was willing to allow your husband to get a cut off the top and finesse these ladies and get them to work with this man. You was cool with it when you received a benefit from it. But now that y'all not receiving a benefit from it because the deal fell out or whatever the case is, you want them to stop doing business with this man, so y'all don't want him to get no money at all when y'all was over there getting extra money? Like, that shit makes absolutely no fucking sense, okay? And everything people saying about you can't just be false and be wrong. And they can't just be making up shit. Come on now. Like, girl, what? So Kandi says the messages were real. And the other problem is that Tasha was completely aware. That's Kandi's problem. Tasha was completely aware. And she pretended to want Kandi to come back to the group because remember, there was a time where Kandi wasn't really interested in doing Xscape. She had too much going on, so she wasn't ready to come back to the group. So the other three ladies went on and performed as Xscape 3, okay? They were making a lot of money because they didn't have to pay Kandi. They made a ton, right? So at one point, they asked Kandi to come back. Kandi was considering it. And Tasha said at one point, I don't know if we saw it on the show or whenever, Tasha was like, I wanted Kandi to come back to the group. And Kandi was like, nah, I see now. You wanted me to come back to the group because you needed me to come back so that your husband could continue to get those kickbacks, get that extra money off of me showing up. That's what that was given, okay? So Kandi was not featuring that SHI at all. And for me, that's where I say, Tasha, you effed up in your IG live when you said, I know everything. You know everything. So you're privy to all of the bullshit. And that does not help your Christian album, solo career, whatever you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't, from the mistresses to you knowing everything about them. And then also everything about the shady business dealings and stuff like that. But you're trying to sing to us about the Lord and stuff, and not going so well. But we'll see. I mean, you might still have a bop on there. I'll see. Because at first I was like, yeah, I'm going to listen to it. But the more I hear stuff, I'd be like, Tasha, I don't even know if I want to support it. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie, girl. But we'll see. I'm going to go off my mood. If my mood be like tap on it, I'm going to tap. If my mood is like, girl, don't tap. Go the other way. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to do what I want to do with my mood, okay? So, anywho, Tiny brings up reuniting as a group. And Tiny says that she don't think it will ever happen. So it seems to me Xscape is donezo for another 5 to 10 years, if you ask me. And she says that she doesn't see them coming back together as long as Rocky is a part of the circle, okay? Because he's her manager. He runs everything over there when it comes to Tasha. So if they can't get around him or do anything, it's not going to work. But in addition to that, it's not going to work until Tasha accepts any and all accountability and changes how she moves when it comes to the group. Don't try and sit up there and throw them away because you was just saying on the show, oh, I don't have to, I don't think I'm done. I don't think I'm going to perform with the group. I think this was my last time performing and all this other stuff. And then now, so you cool with throwing them away, but then now that you see things are not panning out as you expected, now you want to get on social media, you want to cry, you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to try to get back in their good graces in the hopes of likely gracing the stage with them at some point so you can get that extra money or whatever the case is. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, it's not giving that you'll be able to. I don't know how you would do performing on different tours as a solo artist. I don't know if they would want you on there. I'm not sure. But it's just funny that, you gave them your arse to kiss and then now you over there running back. Like, yikes, girl. All right? I also think the girls probably don't want you back because remember how y'all was making a lot of money without Kandi? Now I'm sure they're making even more money without you because here's the gag. They have a television show that is bigger, or y'all have a television show that's bigger than the last one that y'all had the last time. So they're a hot commodity at this point. All three of them. So they're probably making even more money than what they made previously. Girl, that's a mess. Anywho, Kandi also made sure to confirm before she closed out her video that she is not dating she has never dated no damn Rocky. Never. It was nothing like that. She says they were friends. It gave me the impression that Rocky was trying to get to know Kandi on that level, but I don't think Kandi was really like interested like that. I don't know. But she says they never dated. They could have hung out. I don't know. But she did confirm that they've never had sex. They never fucked. None of that happened at all, in case somebody wanted to get some bright ideas. She said she don't know who started that rumor, but y'all could cut and stop all of that shit now. Now, y'all may have, they just talked. That was it. They was friends, whatever, but it didn't go no further than that. Girl, the way these lies be out here jumping, I wouldn't be surprised if the person themselves sat up there and started that lie himself. But what do I know, girl? I'm just over here, trying to figure it out like everybody else, okay? But that was Kandi and Tiny's Speak on It, all right? I want you guys to go ahead, hop down in the comments. Let me know what you thought about the Speak on It. Let me know your thoughts about everything Miss Kandi dating, okay? Allegedly rocking when she says she's never dated that man. Let me know your thoughts about Tiny finally being vocal about her experience with Tasha, whether she's disappointed or not disappointed or proud of Tamika or whatever the case is. Also, let me know y'all thoughts about her likely not returning back to the group, girl, as long as Rocky is involved. And more importantly, tell me what y'all think that Miss Tasha should do with that man. Girl, leave it all down in the comments, okay? That's all that I got. I am Jamie, that's me. Be sure to like the video if you have yet to like the video. If you've been enjoying the content, definitely go ahead and hit that subscribe button, all right? I am trying to grow my Instagram to hopefully 10. Girl, we at like 7,800, girl. So definitely make sure that you guys come on over and follow me over there on the Instagram. That would be great. Be sure to follow me on Twitter as well, because I always post my videos on my social media platforms, because sometimes YouTube be lagging on the notifications, okay? But if you want to stay in the know, make sure you do all of that, all right? I'm Jamie, that's me. Yeah, that's it. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.